Welcome back, people. Real Tech Talk with Eric Brody. By the way, I was thinking the time when I was walking over here, right? I was saying to myself, I've been calling myself E-Breezy recently, right? And I was like, where did that come from? I can't remember. But what I can remember is I got my homeboy, right? He always comes up to me on the street because his office is right around there. And he always goes, Breezy! And I realized, it was catchy. And that's my boy, Chris Okada. He also is using technology. And he just got into Web 3.0. We're trying to sell a building, which has been absolutely incredible. Just want to give him a little shout out on it. So this week's Real Tech Talk, we're going construction, con-tech, once again, marketplace, which is so relevant today. And I'm going to tell you why. It's my boy, Cliff Fetner. He's got a company called Soil Connect. Now, for many people in the marketplace, you won't know, but that is a $40-50 billion industry. It's a commodity, right? And what we're going to get into is why streamlining that process is so important when it comes to, right now today, labor shortage, construction supply restrictions. Why is construction getting so expensive? And what he is trying to provide is to save time and is to help on the administrative tasks and get a little piece of that $40-50 billion industry. So welcome my next guest, my boy Cliffy Fets. Cliff Fetner, here he is, folks. That's why we're here, bro. This is Real Tech Talk. Boom shakalaka. So who the hell are you, bro? What are you into? What do you do? Dude, you can keep it real here. Tell me about these real estate players.
Eric Brody is the managing principal of CEMVC LLC. All opinions expressed by Eric and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of CEMVC LLC. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions. Clients of CEMVC LLC may maintain positions in the securities discussed in this podcast.
All right, welcome back to the next episode of Real Tech Talk. And before we get started today, I would like to point out that my guest today did two things that are totally different and random, and that he is real. Number one, he wears a branded shirt. Finally, can we get a round of applause here? Branded shirt, people. Number two, we are in technology and construction, and for the first time, someone dear to my heart also is not shaving every day. So can we clap it up for fucking not shaving and still being a real human being? All right, today we get to interview Cliff Fetner of Soil Connect. And what makes this different from others is now we're into the construction sector. We've been waiting. We've been in IoT. We've been in 5G. We've been in UAV. But finally, straight up construction. So Cliff, thank you for coming on the Real Tech Talk podcast, bro.
Oh, thanks for having me. A pleasure to be here.
That's awesome. So Cliff, I'd love to hear a quick 30 seconds, because we're not moving too fast, a little background on how you got into technology, because I know you come closer to how you got into technology than most of the people I've met today. So tell us a little bit about it.
30 seconds is going to be tight, admittedly, but I'll do my best.
Keep it tight. Keep it fast. Choose your words very, very carefully.
Okay. So, short story. I'm a third-generation builder and developer.
Well, you look great.
Oh, thank you.
You're looking, young and feeling good.
Thank you very much. Third-generation builder and developer here in the New York metro area, and so the really, really short story is I broke ground on a piece of property and I had a problem, and there had to be a better way of doing this, and so nothing has changed in 1,000 years since the beginning of time, and I needed to solve a problem, and that's what Soil Connect has done in the simplest form.
Oh, wait, so first you're a builder-developer, boom.
Correct.
And that's a great way to kind of go through it, because you're saying, look, I'm fucking trying to build these buildings in New York City or in the metro area. So tell us what the original process is and then why Soil Connect was formed. So what are you identifying as the issue?
The problem is the resourcing and movement of dirt. Every single job site needs to move dirt. Either you're getting rid of dirt or you're bringing dirt to the site. Every single site. And so, how have we done it for the past 1,000 years? Very simple. You pick up the phone, you call everybody you know, and you figure it all out. Not really that efficient.
Well, actually, isn't it you first have to dig a little hole. You gotta grab someone to come test it, see what's in it, right, and then qualify it with a bunch of people, and then try to coordinate them to come grab it, and then to make sure that you're following a lot of the protocols, because there's a lot of state, city, and federal rules attached to it. Am I right?
You're 1,000% correct. I was trying to shorten the process because I know we're not going to be here all afternoon, Eric.
I hear you. I appreciate that. But we got to give them the baseline so the layperson understands the pain in the ass it is in dealing with dirt. Because probably most people just think you come in, you take it, right? Every single little piece of dirt has to be tagged and bagged, correct?
That's 1,000% correct. And over time, it's gotten more and more and more complex, and more permits are needed. And so the process, yes, gets dragged out even longer.
Okay.
And so the story of Soil Connect, once again, is about the movement of soil, the resourcing of how to get rid of it. So how have we done it?
Yeah, what is it pre-Soil Connect, though?
Pre-Soil Connect.
So you're qualifying it, boom, right? Mm-hmm. Then you're waiting for an approval, right?
Correct.
And each soil, for people who don't know, there's a different characteristics of it, right? Like most people assume in New York City, which I think is a great assumption, is that when you're digging, that soil is like fresh and clean, never been touched by any pollutants. Am I right?
1,000% correct.
But as it turns out, that's not true, right? We convert these neighborhoods that we're manufacturing into residential.
Correct.
So what happens? You test it. Then what?
We test it and qualify it. And once you get your approvals or not, now you have to decide where you're bringing it.
And how do you find out who to bring it to? Well, most people don't know, right?
Exactly right. And that's the essence of here again what we're doing, right? So the movement of soil to be really efficient is this timing mechanism, right? So it's just more efficient to dig a hole and take the dirt and put it in a truck and send it somewhere, right? That's the most efficient way of moving dirt.
And where does it usually go? Well, when we say send it somewhere, no one knows, right? Everyone sees the dirt moving. Where do you go?
Well, it goes to anybody else, what I call in the dirt ecosystem, right? And that brings us to another whole conversation about who is in the dirt ecosystem, what makes the movement of dirt so interesting, and what makes our platform so very efficient in terms of moving it. And
so who is in the dirt ecosystem? Who are the players?
The dirt ecosystem is made up of everyone and anyone who play in the dirt. So when you look at our users, our registered users to date, almost a third of our users are earth-moving, drainage, and excavation contractors.
So that's on the contract side, the guys who are responsible for really picking it up and moving it.
Yes, and then there's another very interesting group in the middle here, and then there are more contractors. Our second biggest category of user is builder, developer, and general contractor. And
because they're liable, they're the liable party?
Well, they're liable, number one, yes. And number two, these guys also understand that dirt's not really dirt, right? Dirt's a commodity. And if you think of dirt as a commodity, it's bought and sold every single day of the week on three core principles: supply, demand, and timing. And the cost of the dirt, or the income you can receive from dirt, adds to the bottom line. And so that's why the builder, developer, general contractor grouping is our second biggest classification of user.
Okay.
And then after that is everybody else, right? That's the asphalt guys, that's the concrete guys, landscapers, pool guys, truckers, and quarries.
Because they're the buyers.
Well, and they could be sellers also. And then that's also a very interesting point, Eric, is that our users are buyers and sellers of dirt and aggregates all in the same day. And that's another really interesting part of the Soil Connect site and platform, and I'm sure we'll get into more of that a little later.
I want to fully understand now the problem. And obviously, look, I'm a builder developer, so I do understand what you're talking about. I'm trying to put in so that people understand. Right. In between everything you said, buyer, seller, still, you're one major issue is all that is regulated to the T, right? So you can't be like, take this dirt, I need to go buy. Like you're saying, you got to qualify it, right?
Correct.
Every single time it's what's in that dirt? Where is it going? Who's allowed to take it? Can they clean it, right? So it's not so simple as, I just take this dirt and I give it to the next guy down the street. Although I think that they're trying to, there's probably programs, but it's like everything has to be qualified and it's like sectioned off, right? Each section is like a pain in the ass, right? I mean, a huge pain in the ass. And then if I'm not mistaken, certain trucks are only qualified to take certain stuff, like highly, highly regulated, right?
Yes, and that's also another part of our platform is not only do we have our marketplace where you can buy and sell dirt. And
Wait, we're going to get there.
Okay.
So what was the problem? What is the problem, though? So now I get it. We got the baseline of how we move dirt. What was the problem you identified then? That was slow?
No,
that was stupid?
Well, it was causing a problem on my own job site. So I couldn't get rid of the dirt because it was the middle of the winter. And nobody needed it, nobody wanted it, and I didn't know what to do with it. And now I have a hole in the ground, and the foundation.
Oh, so you couldn't get someone to just come and take it based on how it qualified?
Correct. Nobody needed it.
No, and that means. So what happens? Yeah. So now you're stuck with dirt that you don't need?
Well, not only was I stuck, but now I have a timeline and a homeowner that I need to maintain. The foundation guy, I called the foundation guy, says, hey, we're digging. He goes, great, I'll be there in 2 days. He shows up in 2 days, and guess what? I have piles and piles of dirt, and he can't get his men, tools, or equipment anywhere near the hole. And so basically he said—
Where was the breakdown, though, that it was qualified dirt? And that you're just saying that
there was no
is
demand.
It a dump? Where does the dirt go? To a dump?
Well, that's your worst case scenario because that's always the most expensive part of getting rid of it, right? That's always your option. That's always your last resort because of the expense of bringing it to that dump.
What are the other options?
Well, the other options are finding closer connections, which is in essence, what we are doing. And that's the story of Soil Connect is so now the foundation guy shows up, and he goes, well, this is really nice, but I'll come back as soon as you get rid of the dirt.
Right. So now you're stuck. You're losing time. You're losing momentum. You're losing, inertia. You got all these problems, right? So
exactly right.
So the consumer doesn't know. But in construction, if it's not, it never flows perfectly, but you try your best to keep it moving.
Right. And
now you're just getting stopped, right? And especially in the ground. You don't want a hole. It's dangerous, right? You need that guy to get in there and get moving, right? It's like the most dangerous part of construction is below grade. So now it's going even slower, which weather, neighbor movement, right? There could be all of these problems, right?
Yes.
So the existing business is phone calls and like emails.
Correct.
So now tell me about what you now solved.
So what we're doing is we're a platform. We are no different than Craigslist and Airbnb and Zillow and LoopNet and all these other platforms where you put information for the public and the market to look at and transact with. I'm doing the same exact thing, but I'm using dirt and aggregates on our platform. So really, we are making it quicker, faster, and cheaper to resource, move your dirt. We create closer connections, and by creating closer connections, everybody is a winner because those that are in the construction industry know it's the cost of moving the dirt from job site to job site. That's the expensive part of it. Mm-hmm. But Eric, my favorite one-liner about what we do.
Drum roll.
You ready? Drum roll, please. I want you to think of us as a dating app for dirt. Mm-hmm. Swipe right if you like what you see. Swipe left if you're not interested. Now, technically...
Wait, my experiences with dating apps, and remember, I'm married, though. There'd be like 5 photos of like the image, and it was always that one weird one that the people looked like. So how do we know that dirt is actually just as beautiful as the first 4 images?
Well, that circles us back to exactly where we started on this podcast, is that you are able to upload the geotechnical report. You are able to upload the soil analysis report so you see it right in front of your screen.
So it's a marketplace, basically, right?
It's 1,000% it's a marketplace.
So I get it. So now we're going to take the dirt marketplace and make it a digital platform. I assume it's a SaaS platform?
Well, it's a web-based and mobile app platform. And we also have SaaS products that I'm sure...
So cloud-based, basically. So,
exactly.
And if it's on our mobile device or iPad Pro computer, we're all looking at the same shit. We're seeing the same information.
All live.
So now it's an efficient platform. But, I'm getting better and better in tech speak. You know what I mean? I'm a builder developer like you, but I'm learning new words every day. What is your wedge? How are you getting the guys, and we've always talked about this, we're super motivated guys, but we're not, and women, and everyone out there and however you identify. Let me just put it out there, okay? How do you get though our construction population to want to get on the platform? How do you spark it to make it work? Because you and I know it's better, right? And even if it's just the same data and information, but it's in a marketplace that's better, how do you get them to want to do it?
So this is something we talk about all the time on the Soil Connect team. What we're doing is changing behavior, right? And we're saying, guys, we have a better way of doing this. But we've gone a whole lot further than just, hey, guys, you should just do this, right? The Soil Connect app, our marketplace, and our e-ticketing, which we'll talk about in a little bit, is simplistic to use and to integrate into your everyday workflow. Okay, simplicity is what it's all about. I talk to our tech team guys all the time, and I say to them, guys, you have less than 5 minutes to teach my industry how to use Soil Connect. And that's how we go about it. So in less than 5 minutes, you can download the app, just like every other app there is. We ask 3 questions, not even, name, rank, and serial number. And now you're a registered user. To create your first post, it's 5 simple questions. Type of dirt, quantity of dirt, date you want to move it, location, and a telephone number, how to reach each other.
But behind the scenes, just to have done that, I want just so our audience knows, is you have to qualify that dirt. So you still need a scientist to come out. They still have to test it and give you those analytics, no matter what. That has nothing to do yet with Soil Connect. It's not like you're connecting them to that scientist to come out, right?
Not at this point.
Right.
Not at this point. So the ROI on our marketplace is off the charts up and to the right. So back to in less than 5 minutes.
By the way, just so everyone knows, everyone when they're pitching in technology creates a Y and X axis and then compares each other to it as to where they are. So he's saying his return on investments in the top quadrant, which is like where you're doing it differently.
1,000%.
Go on.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the
That's
clarity.
what I do here, baby. That's my job.
So in less than 5 minutes, you can create a post. You're automatically matched to the other side of your post, right? I need to get rid of 3,000 yards of dirt. And Eric, you're not far away from my job site. We're automatically connected. So
if that other side is on it also.
Well,
so these channels of getting people on must be a big pain in the ass, right? You got to get everybody.
Well, yes. And that's the trick, honestly, of what we're doing is getting people on the app to communicate efficiently. Getting a really good user experience is something we talk about every day and all day, and how do we go about doing? And so we use our typical marketing channels, right? I'm doing a podcast.
Boom.
We do.
By the way, if you need soil, here's Cliff, soilconnect.com. Get on it, people.
They call me the Dirt King, so please... Please,
wait, does that mean, are you friendly with the Tiger King? Is
Yes.
that where they got the Dirt King from you?
Yeah, so I'm the Dirt King, and my grandson's the Dirt Prince, so
nice.
it works.
Nice,
it works nice.
Oh, it sounds great. Sounds great.
Now I forgot where we were.
No. So here's where we were. So I have something super interesting because I feel like people don't know.
Right.
Me and you know because we're intimately involved with construction and development. I'm in New York City, which is the dirtiest place on earth. I was joking before, where everything has to be qualified, and it's a long process, right?
Yeah.
It's even to get sign-offs with the Office of Environmental Remediation, brownfields. Like, you don't understand, people. It must be perfect. And to have an efficient cloud-based solution marketplace is like tremendous and makes so much sense. But and I agree with you that the biggest issue is obviously getting people to actually do it and know that, right? Because we just move slow. But how big is the business? You know what I'm saying? You're disrupting a business, the soil business, but let the viewers know who aren't out there, like, how much money is in this game?
So we did a lot of study on this, and we estimate...
I know, that's why I'm asking you,
Yeah.
you know, because I don't know Dirt King, you know?
Yeah, we estimate annually anywhere between $40 and $50 billion a year is spent in the resourcing and the movement of dirt, only dirt. The aggregate world is a whole bunch of separate numbers, but just in the dirt business alone, $40, $50 billion a year, and that's just here in the States.
Wow, so it's a huge business. Who's the ones who are usually, and the parties making that money are the movers of it, the excavators of it, the qualifiers of it, right? These are the players in it that we were discussing, right?
100%.
So now, how are you going to monetize it? So where's the secret sauce? Now they get on board and they're a part of it. So what are you thinking as to what are those revenue streams now for you?
So in the marketplace, just so everybody knows right now, it's free right now. Okay, and what we're trying to do, create a frictionless experience. And so we want to bring people to the marketplace. We want to populate the marketplace. But we're doing other things also to help populate the marketplace. We should talk about dirt alerts, and we should talk about the daily dig. But certainly,
Yeah, 100%. Tell us. You have to change behavior. So what are you doing?
right. So changing behavior, what we've done, we have something called the dirt alert. Dirt alert, honestly, is nothing more than a text message.
Listen, it's huge, though, because if you recall, human behavior is listening and reading their texts. So
Right. But here is how we're using a technology that's been out there for 25 years. So we're a tech company. So we have the ability, right, to draw a radius around your job site. So you're doing a job in downtown Brooklyn, wherever you're working, and you have 5,000 yards of dirt you need to get rid of. Hey, Cliff, nobody needs it. Nobody wants it. Can you help me get rid of it? You call our customer success team, and we're going to draw a 20-mile, 30-mile, 50-mile radius around your job site. We're going to contact everybody via text within that radius with a couple of clicks of a mouse. Okay, so before coming here, I checked the numbers. So in the New York metro area, and we define New York metro as drop a pin in Central Park and go 100 miles around, we have over 25,000 names of everyone and anyone who play in the dirt. Okay, so that's a 100-mile radius from
that's New York Metro?
New York Metro.
I thought like Westchester was like upstate. That's pretty far, no?
Yeah, well, it is. It's part of the dirt ecosystem.
Okay.
Back to that, right?
Because I'm a Brooklyn Patriot here. We don't go that far.
Yeah,
that's far away.
Well, and honestly, it doesn't make sense for a trucker to bring dirt from your job site in Brooklyn to Westchester.
Okay,
right? But we're using dirt alerts as a marketing tool, right, to bring people to our platform. And that's free also now as a service. When we talk about revenue streams in the future, charging for dirt alerts
gotcha.
will be one of them. But
a lot of this also, you're like, I don't think the consumer may understand is dirt has a lot of value, like you were talking about, right? Specific types of dirt, cleanliness of dirt, whether it could be slightly dirty, you clean it, and now that dirt has value, right? So it's a commodity, right?
Oh, you beat me to it. That's one of my favorite lines.
What?
Is, hey, Eric, what's the difference between dirt, gas, oil, lumber, and aluminum and copper? What's the answer?
Cost?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
I want you to think of them all as commodities, right? They're all bought and sold every single day of the week on supply, demand, and timing. And to your point, different types of dirt are worth different dollars. And then also, there's a need and want regarding dirt. And that brings me right back to the story of Soil Connect. So now I had all of this dirt, and I couldn't get rid of it, and I lost the foundation man on the schedule. So what are my options?
Which, by the way, that ties back to a greater issue, which is we have a labor issue, we have a timing issue. That guy's in such demand, you missing that moment and losing that inertia is so huge. If we're trying to make construction faster, you've just made this workflow smoother, so hopefully the timing was correct, right? I mean, that's like tremendous, right? Now you lost that guy. How long did you lose him for till you could get him back?
Well, and here the rest of that story goes, now I have to get rid of the dirt. I have to figure it out.
Right.
And so worst case scenario is, once again, send it to the landfill. I call up the excavation guy, and he says to me, all right. I'm going to charge you $200 a load to get rid of it. Okay,
you didn't underwrite that.
No, I definitely didn't underwrite that. And so I had 3,000 cubic yards. An average truck takes 20 cubic yards. That's 150 truckloads times $200 is $30,000. I said, let me think about that. 2 days later, Bob the Builder passes my job site. I forgot his real name. Let's go with Bob.
I got you. We figured that. We figured as much.
Bob,
unless you were trying to promote him,
Bob the Builder says, hey, Cliff, what are you doing with that dirt? I says, I don't know. Why? He goes, well, I need it. Really? I'll pay you $100 a load for that dirt. Really? He goes, yeah, great. So
that's a $45,000 swing.
Yes.
30 in the hole to 15 up.
Right. So what just happened in that conversation?
You made money?
Well, yes, but more to the point is back to the commodity conversation.
Right.
Is that Bob the Builder needed that dirt more than I needed to get rid of it. And so he was willing to pay me. Now, let's be honest, though. I was really lucky there because I also had scheduling issues,
Yep.
but I was figuring it out. But Bob really, really needed it. And so the $45,000 swing.
Wow.
So Soil Connect here again.
And if the timing would have been better, you wouldn't have lost your foundation guy.
Exactly right.
So two things that I would like to, before, we move these fast, because we know my audience, we're getting them to engage, but they're not engaging forever. So two things is, where does Soil Connect stand? Okay. And then I'm going to ask you a question personally, because we want to know a little bit about you. So where do you stand in the process of the technology itself? Do you have an MVP? Are you out on the market? Like, where do you stand in this business?
So Soil Connect, our marketplace, we're literally next week, 2 weeks, going to launch the next version 3 of our marketplace.
Very cool.
We've completely rebuilt it, and it's on a new tech stack, and it's quicker, better, faster, has great new workflows, and so we're really excited about that. Soil Connect was incorporated in end of 18. We released our MVP, as you say, 6 months later, and here we are. We're just finished our seed round. We're heading to our A round in the next couple of months. So that's where
and
we are.
what's the ARR round?
Pushing $1 million at the end of Q3.
My man, we're getting it. We're getting it. Here we go. We got a real business here, people.
But we have to talk about the other part of our business, which is the e-ticketing part of our business, right? How do we keep track of dirt from job site to job site?
What do you mean? It's there's a pink slip, there's a yellow one, and there's a white one, and then we lose them all. What do you mean?
Exactly. So what we've done is we've completely digitized the entire workflow.
So what did you do? Scan QR based, or
No, we didn't go that route. Everything is we're capturing all this information through the cell phones. Okay,
so mobile first.
Yeah, mobile first, right? But more to the point of on e-ticketing is truck drivers no longer need pens.
Yep.
They no longer need paper.
Right. So the audience may not understand, but basically when you take a load off of the job, especially if the dirt is qualified, it has to be sort of, I call it tagged and bagged, but really you have to have a manifest saying that piece left and where it went, every single piece of dirt coming off. So, I mean, that was waiting for someone to digitize it. So that's incredible. And that can be another source or a revenue stream or an add-on or a freemium, like you were saying.
Exactly right. So we have different types of e-ticketing products. And I know when we spoke pre-show, you would talk, one of the questions was, how do we make out through COVID and where did we go?
Right.
And so not only did we survive, we thrived because we created a contactless e-ticketing product. So what that's really about, yes, of course, keeping everybody away from each other. But at the end of the day, it's just safer to keep the truck driver in the truck. There's no reason for him to get out of the truck any longer. He pulls
God forbid his back, Oh,
his back. He falls over a rock. He falls in a hole. He gets hit by another car.
You should be able to get in and out like pain-free, no?
You should. You should. So we have contactless e-ticketing.
Yep.
We have quick ticket. We have continuous ticket. We have all these different e-ticketing products because we all move dirt, but we all move it a little bit differently. So that's why we have a whole bunch of different product lines within the e-ticketing world. But maybe the most exciting thing recently that has happened to us, and this kind of ties all into the conversation about understanding the type of soil and analysis and all of that, is we created first to market what we call e-regulatory. And in e-regulatory, what we've done is we've taken the New York, in this case first, New York State manifest. A manifest has to be physically filled in by the truck driver.
Right.
Everything that he does.
And given to, obviously, the collector or the dump or whoever it's going to.
Exactly right. So now what we've done is we've completely digitized the entire workflow. And not only have we digitized the workflow of the paper, but we've also paired it with a tracking loop, if you will. So I am tracking where the driver starts, the route he took, and where he dumped the load.
I feel like people don't realize how painstaking it is, in doing this, because you have a physical realm out there that you are working with dirt, and you need to have this paperwork, right? Construction is administration and field. And, to make that workflow digitized is like so relevant. It saves time and accuracy, which is important because you can't get your sign off, right? People don't understand. If you missed that, you're searching for it at a time where you're losing time in finishing a project. So that's amazing. So listen, the last thing I want to know is, as a builder developer, I know how stressful and crazy that is. And now you got into technology, which is also crazy and stressful. My question I always like to ask my technologist is, so what are you doing to balance your life? So what are you doing to not go crazy, in the angry construction business and the getting a wedge in the technology business?
Well, that's very difficult to balance. And because it is so difficult to balance, I'm really phased out recently of the building business.
Okay. So that's a de-stressor.
Well, yes.
Take tech to the next realm.
And I'm all in on the technology and Soil Connect, and where we're going and how we're going to get there is every bit of a full-time job.
All right, so fine. So what are you doing to now stay calm and maintain equilibrium that has nothing to do with Soil Connect and or construction and development?
So what do I do in my spare time?
What do you do in your spare time?
I love to ride my bike.
Weren't we talking about this?
Yes,
like you were like, so that these people don't hit you? What do you have, like an alarm? You kick them?
Well,
because you're a city boy.
Riding around the streets of Manhattan are a little difficult at times, but I mitigate that risk because I ride at 6 a.m. on Saturday or Sunday. It's quieter.
Getting after it.
Love riding around Central Park, so that's all good stuff. And that's the main. I love to work out also.
All right. Well, listen, Cliff, it's been an absolute pleasure. I hope that we were able to get the audience to understand about what a solution that you're providing. And we're going to watch it because you get that wedge in and you pick up that 40 to 50 billion, we'll see you on your jet. You won't have to bike ride. You'll just fly.
You'll just speak to my entourage.
That's right. I won't be able to talk to you anymore. I'll be like, can I speak to him? We did speak at one point, but I appreciate you coming through, Cliff. All right.
Thanks for having me.
You got it, brother, man.
Be good.
All right, peace. Man, people, I hope you enjoyed that episode. He gets right down to business. He's a man after my own heart. You could tell, if you've been in the streets long enough, what a builder developer is. Comes in, Soil Connect shirt. Come on, people. When you come on the show, how could you not be promoting your companies, right? Second, not shaving every day. Come on, we're tough guys in the streets doing construction. You don't have to shave every day and look pretty. Loving that authenticity, right? Now, a part of this show is what he's providing real or fake? Medicine, vitamin. So here's my take on it. 100% that is real. That is a medicine. Here's my fear about it. I was talking about on the show, how's he going to drive the wedge to get you, the layperson who's in that game, to want to be mobile first in dealing with dirt and soil? That to me is the very essence of what's so hard, right? So he said something I thought was super cool. He's trying to come up with other avenues to get you to come onto the platform, and I think that's the game. So I think a part of what he has to do is just keep grinding it until the industry understands that why are you not using cloud-based technology to qualify this dirt? Because I got to tell you, I wasn't playing around when I'm serious that you literally have 3 manifests, literally carbon copy paper that you're supposed to save. By the way, that takes, let's say, 6 months to excavate. You're supposed to have it on day 1, and by the 6 months, every load of dirt coming out. He's talking about a single-family home who he had 200 loads, I believe, or no, it's $200 or 50 loads, whatever it is, 50 trucks rolling up where he has to have them manifest. Let's just talk about human behavior. How are you going to have that perfectly? Now, if you have ADHD, maybe you do, but many of us are just trying to get the job done. So here's a way where you can just tag it and you have it and it's digital. This isn't recreating the wheel. What's recreating the wheel is bringing this tech to the construction business. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to work. So for me, I'm interested. He said he's going from C to A. I hope he gives me a little call when he goes to A, because I would be interested in investing in this company. This is a direct company that would impact the way that I do construction today. Boom, that's exactly what we're looking for. So listen, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We got more coming out. We got a show on The Real Deal. We got this dude with the wood flooring. He got 1.8 million followers getting us on. We got mortgage guys. It's going to be fresh. So stay tuned. Follow us. Hit the like button, because we are going one place, that's to the moon, when we're talking about construction and PropTech. All right, peace, everybody. It's been my pleasure.